Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Nick, your host of On the Scene with Martini. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget, you are the scene. Hey guys, what's up? It's Nick, On the Scene with Martini. Today I got Raygun from Chat Pile. How you doing, Raygun?
How's it going, Nick?
I appreciate it a ton for you to come on. I know you had a busy weekend and stuff, so it means a lot.
Appreciate it. No problem. Absolutely no problem.
What was your the hardest part for me is always like the icebreaker question, and I always hit with the like, what was your introduction to music? Because Chat Pile is such a unique sounding band. Obviously, I can't imagine like Sludge was like your first intro to
Uh,
the music scene. So what kind of got you into music as a whole?
oh, I love this question. I don't ever get asked this question, you know. So I had an old dad, like a really. My dad was born. My dad's no longer with us, but he was born in 1929. Okay, and my mom is born in the mid late 40s. Okay, so really, my dad had no interest in music necessarily. But my mom, her interest in music was it almost skewed pre-Beatles, you know, so or be early Beatles, you know, but not psychedelic stuff, not so much. By then, my mom's getting into Carpenters and stuff like that, and I don't follow her into that. My mom loved the song "Bebopalula" by Gene Vincent. She'd sing that all the time. Uh, Great Balls of Fire. There's just like a lot of those kinds of songs. That was kind of the beginning of me loving music is 50s, early 60s pre-Beatles pop, and then Motown as well, which is also kind of happening at that time. Soul in general, you know. But then, yeah, my first concert was Rockapella. Do you know what that is?
I know the name, but like if you showed me it, I wouldn't be able to pick it out.
So Rockapella did the theme, so they were an a cappella group, of course, but they were rock, you know. And they did the theme song to Carmen Sandiego, and they came to my small, relatively affluent at the time oil town. I Oklahoma is full of little towns like this. That like if you are a town in a town with a refinery, it's like you either live in a time of great affluence or great depression. That's where my town is now. But anyway, Rockapella came in the '90s. It was wonderful. And I saw the Who after that. That was my second my first two concerts was the Who in like '99 and Rockapella in like '96 or something like that.
That's a crazy jump from Rockapella to the Who.
Yeah, and then after that it's all just like punk shows and stuff like that. I haven't seen. I've seen very few arena shows like the Who show that I
Mm,
went to. Not exactly my vibe, you know. But
absolutely. So like what was that kind of moment where you transitioned more to like the punkier was it like I know down south especially, correct me if I'm wrong, but like sludge and that kind of metal is very prominent compared to like obviously Northeast you still have your own scene, but like I always see like the South having a ton of it. What kind of got you into that? Was it like a punk to hardcore to you randomly stumbled on sludge, or was it kind of like right into it because it just worked out that way in your area?
um, well, for me, I mean, I do love sludge metal and stuff like that, but I only sing and write the lyrics. So I may not be the best person in chat pile to answer this question, but I will answer from my perspective. I think everybody would agree in the band. Black Sabbath is sort of the gateway drug that we all take, you know, and like some of us choose to go like with all with actual drugs
Yeah.
deeper down into it. But I mean, I remember I don't remember this album even being very good. But that Warhorse album, that first Warhorse album, track one, I think, on it was like everybody was so into that when that came out. And I remember Stan, I mean, I've been friends with them since I was like 19 or 20. I'm 41 now. And Stan is a year older than I am. And Captain Ron, they're brothers. We're the same age. But I remember him giving me a disembowelment tape in the year like 2004, maybe. And he was like, "This is like the slowest." I know that's Dune,
Yeah, yeah.
but he was like, "This is like the slowest metal of all time." Like it was just like I was like, okay, like everybody was in. He was super into extremes. I guess I was too. So he was super into agoraphobic nosebleed and then stuff like that, like
Mhm.
disembowelment. And so like just and the locust was a big deal at the time. Uh,
It's funny that you say Sabbath though, because I feel like I know for me personally, like that was my gateway to just heavy music in general. I remember I told a story before, but in like I was in 10th grade history class, and just for preference, I'm 23 now. So that was, not too long ago, but yeah, I was in 10th grade sorry, history class, and we were doing like breakdowns of songs on like political songs, and our teacher played War Pigs, and I was like, "What? This is awesome. Like this is great." And then I was like thinking, and I was like looking, I was like, wait, that's Ozzy Osbourne. Just like making that connection because I grew up in a household where like Led Zeppelin, James Taylor, Buffett, like very like when my dad plays Metallica, that's his heavy music, which like I get. Like that's what's kind of how he grew up in. But it's funny that you say Sabbath. I feel like that's the answer that I get a lot for like the gateway, which I appreciate because it's like you have your people in metal, you have your people in hardcore, rock. Everyone can have that mutual respect for, the Prince of Darkness. But yeah. So like you were saying too, like you've known them since you were 19, 20. How did you guys like formulate Chat Pile? Was that like an easy thing for you, or was that something you've been wanting to do for a while?
no, I mean it took a while. Like we had to sit in the rock tumbler for a really long time to get to a point where we could all vibe together. Like uh, we we were in kind of competing, not competing, but like there was a little bit of a competitive edge between my band and Stan's bands. And Stan, uh, like I don't know, we just it just took us a long time to be able to work together, and we tried several times. We had this extremely short-lived, only lived in practice spaces band called Caesarean. Nothing is recorded. That was like painful experience. Then he was asked by one of my other bandmates to play bass with us, and I was in a mood. We didn't vibe. That was also a painful experience. I truly believed that me and Austin, although we were very good friends, very very good friends, I didn't believe that we would be able to do music together. But I've always wanted to be just a vocalist. I played guitar in like every band before Chat Pile. I always thought it would be fun to be a vocalist like Henry Rollins and Black Flag or whatever. Uh, and so this was kind of an opportunity, I think, for us both to let us do. That was our sort of issues. We couldn't let each other do our thing. We'd be like,
Hmm.
"No, I don't want you to do it that way." We'd both be doing that to each other. So this was kind of a way for us. So to answer your question, no, it wasn't easy. It took a long time. I'm really glad we got to a place where we can work together because I love working with Austin, Stan,
Hmm.
and everybody. But no, I mean we're both. I mean I wouldn't exactly call myself Type A, but when it comes to creative stuff, I like to be in control, and
Hmm.
he does too. But this, we sort of chat pile. We both can creatively handle both sides, the yin and we're sort of a yin and yang type situation. Not that Luther Manhole, Captain One don't contribute anything creatively, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, just like kind of like overall guidance and it's like aesthetic that like you're shooting for with like going for an album or going for a song kind of deal?
Yeah, and also let me say this. I mentioned I'm older and stuff. I have less of an ego, or I try now in my life actively to be a little more egoless than I
Hmm.
was in my 20s, where
Fair
I've
enough.
never been able to handle what's happening with my band right now. In my 20s, I would have messed it up completely, especially in the age we live in. I can't imagine, So,
When did it come about? My first question I want to go with like how did Chat Pile, the name itself, come about?
the boys chose it. Probably, I'm gonna say Stan probably chose it. Maybe Luther Manhole did. I can't. I don't really know. If I was kind of like, that's like a weird name. I don't like love it. But again, this is a part of being egoless, and just like kind of going with the flow and being like, okay, okay. If you think trusting your friends too.
Hmm.
And that's Mr. Goose, my dog, is going to read. There. Anyway, um, but so anyway, at first I was like, I don't know, I don't get the band name, but they explained it to me. I was like, okay, that's cool. It's a cool idea. And also I was like, I've been doing music for 20 years and nobody has given a shit at all. So who fucking cares? That's also kind of the view at the time was like, who gives a shit? Let's do anything. So yeah, okay, fine. If you guys like this name, let's use the name. And we did, and I love it now. Now I love it with all my heart. I think it's a great a great name for a band. But at the time for me, even I was like, interesting.
When you guys were like talking about like creative, like kind of you're saying that you're doing music for 20 years or so. And this is kind of like a moment where you could be like super creative. You finally like you and Stin or Austin are finally like connecting. You're gonna be in a band. What made you guys decide to use pseudonyms instead of like your actual names?
Well, I've always loved bands that use pseudonyms and stuff. I mean, I know it's more of a, or it's a tradition that is before my time, even, but like, I mean, Dead Kennedys obviously come to mind, Jello Biafra,
Hmm.
PH Allegro, East Bay Ray, and Class Fluoride. I also love the Dead Boys have immortal stage name. Cheetah Chrome, I think, is the greatest stage name of all time. Uh, but even like Bob Dylan is a stage name.
Yeah.
Elvis Costello is a stage name. I thought it would be fun. I thought if we're going to do kind of a political thing, a punk thing, this was sort of my request, I guess. And the boys went along with me because everybody, I think, is we're all mature and wiser than we were maybe when we were younger. And so this was my request. I think I don't know, and I think everybody went along with it too because at the time everybody had like you know full-time jobs and stuff and didn't necessarily want their name to be. Now it doesn't matter at all really, but it's still fun to do, and it also kind of is a fun thing for like if you see me and you go, hey Ray, I'll be like, hey, what's going on? But if you see me and you go, hey, bleep my real name, then I'll be like, kind of typically like, unless there's some cases, but usually I'm like, I get less responsive. I can be colder.
I
I'm
gotcha.
my Christian name by people who don't know me. So
Yeah.
it's a nice way if somebody calls me, hey, Mr. Raygun or Ray or whatever. I'm like, hey, how's it going? So I like that element of it too. I didn't expect that would be something that's just sort of like unseen payoff of using a stage name, but I do like it. So
How did you come about with Raygun Bush? Like that's such a unique name. I do really like Luther Manhole. That might be my favorite. No offense. I do like Luther Manhole, but
Mendel's incredible. That's Longmont Potion Castle.
mhm.
I need to tell him this. I keep forgetting at the Denver show. Came up to me and was saying all this stuff to me, and I was like, "What the fuck are you saying?" And I saw that they had the little patch. I was like, "Oh, are this is reference to that?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, oh, "I'm so sorry. I am not the right guy. This is the other person would have loved what you just said, whatever you just said to me." But But no, I just wanted to pick something scary. So like it's an play on like Reagan Bush, Reagan Bush 80 84.
Gotcha.
So, but then I wanted to do like Raygun, like a little tip of the hat to Naked Raygun and Raygun Suitcase by Pedigo, and um, Bush, beer, cheap beer at that, beer I don't necessarily even like.
So with like album formatting and stuff, you guys have a very like distinct kind of like border kind of vibe that you guys go for. Is that like where your creative idea goes in, or is that not kind of your wheelhouse? Just in
What's
terms of like formation of like, like the lettering and how like it's very unison your album covers.
all the graphic design and
Hmm.
stuff. No, Stan handles all of that. Sometimes I'll work with him on ideas for what the cover will be, but he has taken the cover photo for all of them, save the live album, the Roadburn live album. I actually took that picture, but that's sort of inconsequential. I just happened to have that on my phone. I was like, perhaps this could work as a cover, and we all liked it and stuff. But no, he's handles all that. He does a great job. He on the tapes that we put out on our own label. He's done all the collage work on that. He did the album cover for our friends band Train Dodge. Everybody looking at this should check out that band. Uh, they're a band from OKC. They've been at it for since like '99 or something like that, and
Hmm.
they're terrific. They have so many good albums. He did the cover for their last album. He has great collage work and stuff. So yeah, Stan handles all that stuff. But it is all modeled after this album called Sleep Asylum by Uzi, and something else too. But that's one of the elements that we both love that. I discovered that and I brought it to his house, and I remember he was like, "Wow, this is great," and he found it. I'm like, "Yeah, we both been like really into that for a long time." Sleep Asylum by Uzi.
Not only like like you
What
guys are very, I really respect like bands that take care of like merch and vinyl, and like you guys seem like you guys are generally interested in it. On top of that, you also are really into movies, as mo most people know. Um, are you a physical media collector as well for like just movies, or is that not really your kind of deal?
What do you mean?
Like
Well,
do you like have like a Blu-ray collection or like a Criterion collection that you like? Or is that what I'm on right now?
uh, dun dun, burn, burn, dog bars and everything. What do you think about that?
I also recently got into like I always liked movies, but like getting more into like the collecting aspect. Um, I like started with like the Criterion collection and then like jumped into like A24 and stuff. Is there like something specific that you like collecting or looking for like while you're on tour?
Yeah. Me and Captain Ron are we're big time Blu-ray collectors, and Luther Mano collects too. Stan doesn't really at all. He's more of just records and books is his thing, which I have a lot of too. I mean, I don't think he's really ever sold too many records. His record collection is pretty impressive, honestly. Me and Manhole have had phases of our life where we've had to sell 60+% of our collection away, for various reasons or whatever.
Hmm.
Like I'm coming for you, Stan. If you're seeing this, but um, uh, I derailed myself. What were you?
No, you're good. It's like you're going on tour a lot and like you guys are touring globally and stuff. Like are you looking for Blu-rays while you're out there? And then like are you kind of looking for like more region specific stuff while you're there?
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at the region codes, but 4K works everywhere, so you can buy 4K if you go to London. Now,
Mhm.
which I do, I recommend FOP. There's other good stores, but I really like FOP a lot. For the US, I'm just going to shout out a couple stores
Do
for
it,
you.
do it, do it. I'm all
Music,
for it.
Music Millennium in Portland is an elite, immortal store. Bay Street Video in Toronto, Ontario is incredible. Um, Fucking DVD Orbit in Asheville, North Carolina. I hope it's okay. I don't know if since the floods and stuff happened. If, I think DVD Orbit is okay. I haven't been there since that happened, actually. Um, ooh, ooh. I know I'm gonna forget. We were just in Colorado, and the Vinegar Syndrome store is incredible. The archive. There's three Vinegar Syndrome stores I've been into. There's one in Toronto. There's the one in Bridgeport, Connecticut. The archive, which is incredible.
Hmm.
One in Denver is very, very, very good too, and that's just called Vinegar Syndrome. There's probably a lot more that I'm forgetting. Definitely Austin has like Indiveneer and Waterloo are great too. I'm looking for so yes, to answer your question, yes. I mean, I'm really looking for Mondo Macabre is like my kind of goat label right now that I'm looking for.
Hmm.
On I love I have see Synapse. I love Synapse, but they don't. I think they do the best transfers of anyone outside of Criterion, but they are so slow. They do very few things. But if you don't have any of their stuff, Street Trash, Prom Night, Trick or Treat, the new transfer is like out of this world, beautiful. Uh, but Vinegar Syndrome is great. I mean, I'm looking for boutique label stuff.
Hmm.
Typically, Steelbook's fucking away from me. Get fucking Plain Jane, get Mill Creek, any of that bullshit away from me. But yeah, Criterion, Radiance is a great label. Um, Canadian International Pictures is also one of my favorite labels. They handle mainly Montreal cinema from the 70s, but I mean other Canadian stuff too. It's great. It's fantastic. I got to hang out with the guy who runs it kind of recently, and he clued me in on a TV show that I love that's going to be coming out from them. I guess I'm so excited about. So yeah.
What was kind of like your introduction? Like, was there like a movie that you remember like growing up to that you were like, wow, like this is gonna make me like movies forever, love movies forever? Because like for me, it was Schindler's List. Like that
Oh,
was
see Schindler's List.
how old was I?
Yeah,
13, 14?
nice. Very.
Yeah, and like I just remember like my dad explaining the little girl in a red dress,
Mhm.
like going across and like I don't know, from then I feel like I kind of look back. I hate to talk about myself, but like I don't know why. I feel like we're just kind of going back and forth. I appreciate that. About like movies and stuff. I feel like watching movies as serious as that at a younger age kind of allowed me to dive into more like not as not even that. Not like you're, the Avengers every day or whatever. It's actual films that people want to divulge in. It's not just like your mainstream stuff that is just like pushed down your throat.
Yeah,
But yeah, Schindler's List was one for me. And then Grand Budapest Hotel was one that I really liked. I saw that when I was like almost right when it came out. So I was like 13.
yeah.
But yeah, like is there like any directors too that really like speak to you? Because I feel like the cliche answer now, especially with the like the Criterion hype becoming a lot more popular, is like everyone's Wes Anderson, Wes Anderson, Wes Anderson. Is there any directors that kind of speak out to you?
Um. Wow. So I'll just first say that Wes was very important to me. I don't understand his new movies at all. I went and saw the Phoenician Scheme, and I was like, what is happening right now?" There's a no, 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 no. Everyone's just talking. It's like, what is going on? But Rushmore came out when I was 13,
Hmm.
and oh god, that was such like a lightning bolt. Maybe I was 14 or something. But yeah, it was. And so I bought Bottle Rocket, and then I bought that, and then I saw all of his movies after that, and I loved him a lot. But I will say, you mentioned that your dad you showed you Schindler's List and was kind of explaining the symbolism and stuff to you.
Hmm.
So I'll return that story with this then. The Coen Brothers, Fargo. Then that came out. I was like 12 maybe, and I was kind of by about 12 allowed to wear whatever I wanted, and movies were just like a huge, like, I know they're just not a big deal now, like in the way that they were. Movies were like the number one source of entertainment, period. Everybody, we'd go to the video store. It was just a beautiful thing. That it's not what it was now, but I love, I mean, kudos to your dad for showing you that movie when you were younger and getting you into stuff. That's good. I like that movie. Um, but anyway, so we watched Fargo. I remember it was like a family thing, and my uncle was there, and he's like, "Chuck, what is this movie?" And my dad's like, "I don't know." He's like, "Well, they said the F word like 3 times since I've been watching." And my dad's like, "Okay." So my dad's like, "All right, I guess Don's like mad. I gotta sit and watch this movie with you." And but then it was Fargo. Like we were both sitting and watching Fargo for the very first time,
Mhm.
and I mean it just rocked my dad and me too. And we just like that was one of the like few times, I don't know, we stayed up and we talked about it, and like it just beautiful moment in my life. So
That was kind of
yeah,
like a turning point for, or a starting point for you for like
yeah,
movie love.
yeah. And then I didn't really realize, and then I put it together that's like, oh, these guys made that weird movie that my cousin Mariah made me and my grandparents watch together, Raising Arizona. And it's like, oh, and then Hudsucker Proxy is these people too. So Coen Brothers were probably really the beginning of me cluing into the idea of like this is a director and a writer and a auteur or whatever like that. Like we're starting to even like focus in on that kind of stuff. But I've loved movies forever. I mean, I apparently I don't even remember this, but I would watch Wizard of Oz and Annie just over and over and over and over again when I was like 2, 3. I distinctly remember watching Return of the Jedi for the first time and just being like, "Wow, I love this." King Kong, the original King Kong, like the '30s one, also just like, "Wow, amazing." Dracula, the original Dracula, I was so into those early like monster movies and stuff when I was like a really really little kid. So I
Is
just
there like, are you also, is there like I don't want to say, I don't know the best way to phrase this, but I'm a nerd and I love Star Wars. I love Lord of the Rings. Is there like a like fantasy slash sci-fi that like you really like that was like your thing?
You know, I was very into Star Wars. I grew up in like episode one came out and I was like 15. So all that time before it was just the 3 movies, and then some of the novels or whatever. We had the Shadow of the Empire and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So later, when I in my 20s and stuff, I got really into Star Trek, but not as a kid. More as a kid, and still to this day. I mean, my favorite sci-fi stuff is like RoboCop, Total Recall, Alien, Terminator. So like the hard sci-fi
Hmm.
stuff is what I really loved as a kid and still really really like. I mean, RoboCop is one of my favorite movies ever. So Brazil, like Terry Gilliam, like any kind of like 12 Monkeys. That's another one that me and my dad were just like, wow,
Yeah.
like holy crap. I think my mom, like we all that was a big hit in my house. That one, 12 Monkeys.
Star Wars wise, are you more of a prequels or a sequels guy then?
You know, I
It's a
think
tough
that
question.
I don't care enough. I am way more annoyed by all the TV shows and all that crap.
Yeah.
So when people tell me to watch this, like I don't have time to watch all that stuff. But I'll say this: we watched. I watched the prequels like last year, maybe. I think they did the 25th anniversary for the Phantom Menace.
Yep.
I saw that in theaters. The pod race is still good. The duel of the fates at the end is still good. I think it's a completely laughable if they try to mimic the amazing three-pronged action scene of Return of the Jedi, where you have like land, air, and hand-to-hand sword or whatever at the same time. They try to do that again. It does not work at all. It's not good. But like I still I still think Attack of the Clones is like my favorite one for whatever reason of the prequels. I like the ending. Yoda says one of my favorite things ever. He says, "Around the survivors, a perimeter, create," which is incredible.
That was a banging Yoda impression. That might be the preview for the show.
We do Yoda a fair bit in the band. And then so then but then the sequels I liked. I okay, I thought they all were fine, but then on TV we watched The Last Jedi and it looked horrible. I was like, man,
Mm.
this looks very bad to me. But I enjoyed the first movie. Like everybody, I think was kind of like it was kind of like the Phantom Menace again, where you're just like, yeah. I mean, if you don't, if I used to love Star Wars, so when the little it goes bum 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 bum, like the Star Wars goes out and it rolls out,
Yeah.
kills like everybody else does, you know. And I love sword fights and lasers and shit. So like lightsabers are ultimate cool to me still. I still love to watch it. I mean, I don't need more of it at all. If they wanted to re-release the first three movies again, like the 4, 5, and 6 again, like I would definitely go see them, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't need more of them. I but the final one that everybody hated, I didn't hate as much as everybody did. I thought the final lightsaber duel, speaking of, was kind of fun. When she has both, when and she rushes the Emperor and
Hmm.
just like face disintegrates. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I don't know what people don't like about this, you know, but
I don't disagree with you at all. I feel like the sequels were a little overhated, but I'm also biased. I Did you watch Rogue One?
yes.
That is probably maybe my favorite Star Wars movie. I think it's honestly one of my favorite movies, period.
Yes.
And like it's just you wish you could do, and I'll get on to a Star Wars tangent. My first ever podcast, this is my second podcast ever I've created. My first one, I interviewed Star Wars actors and like the graphic design people who created it and stuff. So like I can go on hours for this. But um Rogue One, I feel like if they could have just done that and like kept that type of like intensity and like actually good acting and just carried it on, there wouldn't be that hate that there is now. There isn't like an intense hate for, The Last Jedi or like all of like the Adam Driver or Daisy Ridley movies, which I don't understand it either because it's like they kind of tie everything together, but people still hate it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I thought that they were fine. And even like I don't mean to say even The Last Jedi is bad. And if I'm completely honest with you, what I was watching was a French dub. I was in Paris at the airport. We were just looking for something. Me and Captain Ron looking for something to watch. It's like, oh, The Last Jedi. We watched it on this like shitty TV, and they were like, no, 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 you know. And but I was just like the final fight. I was like, wow, this is really ugly to my eyes. I don't remember it being this ugly on the big screen, but the it just looks strange to me. Uh, Rogue One, I don't know. It's like a magic trick. It shouldn't be good, honestly, but it's great. I think
Yeah,
it's one of the best Star Wars movies too. After the original three movies, it's the best one, no question. I would say.
absolutely. You're talking about Cap and Ron. Thought it was cool too. Like when you go on tour, it looks like you kind of go sightseeing in a way, going to like different like sets and houses and stuff. When did you kind of start that?
I feel like it maybe began on tour. The real, the first, not the real. I don't want to say real, but like, so the first time we really left the city, we did like 2 dates with Portrayal, and then we came back and did 3 dates with them, maybe, and that was like the most we'd ever done, if you can call that a tour. And then we got asked by Lingua Ignota to be the opener on like a 5 date run. So that's also a pretty short deal. But it was on that tour. We had never been to Seattle, Portland, um, Salt Lake City is like the main place where I think this all totally crystallized. Cause I think, damn, I can't remember if it was that time in Portland. I think it was. We did like we went to Drugstore Cowboy, the apartment from that movie. We tried to do Gus Van because Gus Van Sant, a lot of his early movies, which were all, or at least me and Aaron or Captain Ron are huge fans of. Um, but then, dude, Salt Lake City is where Halloween 4, 5, and 6 were filmed, and all that stuff is there. It's just houses.
Hmm.
They use real geography, so it's like all like there. Like my friend James um, is a city council person here in my fair city of Oklahoma City. James Cooper. He's going to be in. He's like a horror fanatic. He's like one of my best friends. And every time I go there, I've done it a couple times. I've been to Salt Lake City. I'm like, James, you gotta just come here, like one day or something, 2 days, and we'll just walk around.
Yeah.
Just Halloween 3 or no, Halloween 4, 5, and 6. And so we're finally in March. I don't want to jinx it, but I think that's actually going to happen. I'm so fucking excited. So that I believe is the true moment where that all crystallized, and Captain Ron is completely game for that. I mean, most of the members, it depends on what it is. Sometimes it's something that like nobody cares about.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's too far out of the way for what it is. But like, yeah, we in Chicago is one of the best. You can go to Henry from Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, his apartment, exactly as it was in the movie, the apartment building from Child's Play, uh, exactly as it was. Um, there's just a lot of fun stuff to do. I mean, I don't know. It's a good way to keep yourself entertained. I mean, LA is the greatest. I
I'm
mean,
sure. Yeah.
fun. And his wife rented a car, and not this past time, but the time before, we just spent a day going to places, and he was really letting me like steer the. He was steering driving, but like steer where we're going and stuff. And my favorite thing that we did, oh my god! And I don't want to like talk about too much in a way that like every. I don't think that this is going to be too like detrimental to these people. It's a regular neighborhood. It's all I'm
Hmm.
saying. So if people want to go here, be respectful. Obviously, um, we're always extremely respectful, when we do stuff like this. But the far-flung suburbs of Los Angeles, East LA, like East out there, um, they filmed the scene from Silent Night, Deadly Night Part Two. Have you ever seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
It's the season, so watch it now.
I will.
Watch 1 and 2. It's hilarious. Part 1 also is a Salt Lake City movie. And I want to do some sightseeing for that too. A lot of that stuff's been torn down. Not all of it though. Anyway, part 2, then it's I don't want to spoil the surprise, but a lot of that movie is just rehashed footage from the original. But like the new stuff is in this LA suburb. And there's a scene, you maybe have seen the meme where the guy comes out with the garbage and this dude's like, garbage day, and he shoots the dude and kills him. He's like, oh, and he like dies. And just like he's like walking around the neighborhood. We went there. We went to the neighborhood where Eric Freeman, the god of bad acting, my favorite. I love bad acting so much, and Eric Freeman is like my favorite. Just like he is doing the most insane bad acting of all time in that movie. Silent Night, Deadly Night Part Two. But yeah, Garbage Day. I stood where he stood, and it felt utterly electric. I could feel like the psychic power, the residue of that scene. I was tapped in fully to the Eric Freeman wavelength. It was so odd. It felt truly electric to be there.
Is
So,
there any like spots that like you really want to go to? It could be a US or overseas that like you really want to go see like a movie set or like a part of it, piece of it.
um, you know, the movie. I don't even like this movie at all, really. But Robert Altman's Popeye. They built a whole town, a seaside town, and it still is there now as a theme park.
Hmm.
can't remember where it is.
That's interesting.
Love to go to the Popeye set. I know Captain Ron is an Altman freak. He would love to go there. You know what we did get to do when we were in Switzerland? I was like, man, didn't James Bond jump off a fucking dam at the beginning of GoldenEye in Switzerland? And I looked it up and I was like, dude, it's like 30 minutes out of the way. Can we please do this? And we did. We went to the dam. Pierce Brosnan or a stunt double. James
Yeah.
Bond jumps off, bungee jumps, and you could. People were bungee jumping. It was too. I'm never going to do that. It's too scary for me. But
Yeah.
hey, like 500. It's Switzerland, so everything is insane. It was like $500+ maybe to risk your life and bungee jump, much like you
Jesus.
that damn.
I'll
Which
do
is
a faraway picture and call it a day.
yeah, we did. Went up there. We watched the guy do it. It was cool. I loved it. I loved it. I love James Bond stuff. So, but yeah, I don't know. Besides that, I'd love to see that city. Speaking of James Bond, in Skyfall, that city in Japan that's abandoned on that island that the fucking evil guy he's on. I mean, in the movie, I don't know where they say they are.
Yeah.
Japan, though, I would love to go there. I can't remember why it's abandoned. It may be some reason, but they film movies and stuff there, so it can't
It can't,
be.
yeah, too bad.
Like, but who knows? I would love to. I would love to go there. That would be insane. I'm sure there's something great that I'm not thinking of, but I've gotten to see some really cool stuff, honestly, even overseas. So, yeah.
This is a two-parter here then. I met you at the Philadelphia show, at TLA when you guys were playing with Fleshwater. And one, I just want to say I really enjoyed your show. It was my first time seeing you guys. But when you go up on stage, I thought it was cool how I knew that you liked movies because I just like to do my little research here and there just to kind of get a feel for what the show's going to be like. But it was cool that you talked about movies. Is that kind of something that you just like free ball when you're at like is your movie knowledge that I don't want to say intense, but that wealth of knowledge, or are you kind of prepping a little bit? And is it kind of like are you doing it? Did you used to do it as like a filler, just or at all, like just to kind of keep your nerves? Sorry, I know there's a ton of different questions, but whatever you,
Yeah, it's all good. I can answer all of that. I believe it did begin as just they use different tunings and stuff. So sometimes it would take time, and I'd be like, okay. So I don't remember how we got on to like what was filmed here. It maybe began in. I think it began before the lingua ignota tour, even so. But I've always done like banter, even when I had my own bands before. I would talk and stuff, a lot in between songs. Because I don't know, I just like to do that kind of stuff. I like to be funny
hmm
or whatever, or it's just give me a mic and let me talk. I guess it's sort of how I am, in a way. But um, I do prep a little bit. Sometimes in New York, you don't need to prep at all, but it's good to prep because you'll be like, oh, I forgot about this, I forgot about this, I forgot about this. And so, then, and sometimes it's funny to only talk about the most obscure stuff, that I even know about, and make it be like a big deal. And also, like, I mean, one of my things I love to do when I'm in LA, I'm like, up top, I talk about Teen Witch immediately. Just like, I try to, like, that's my bit is that in Raygun and Busch's mind, Teen Witch is the ultimate LA film, which is, of course, ridiculous. But it's fun. We have lots of little things that we do like that. You're in Philadelphia, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, yeah, offhand, it's like there's a couple of movies that come to mind. I'm definitely doing research when I'm in your fair city, but there's like quite a few. There's like Rocky, I could just do all rock. I think maybe I've done all Rocky before, but maybe not.
Yeah, I feel
But
like there's a lot to talk about for Rocky.
what about Rocky 2? Great. Creed 2, Creed 3. Go on and on and on. There's enough Rockies. That'd be really funny to do. What if I did it in descending order? Would it be funny to do it descending, ascending, or just completely out of?
Out of because I think it would just piss off Philadelphians.
Yeah, it's like, and of course, Rocky Balboa, like, yeah. I love those movies. I love Blowout is my favorite Philadelphia movie. I probably say that a lot. There's a lot of good
I
ones.
think you did say that actually. Now that when you
Same
at TLA, I think you said blowout.
Blowout, yeah. Philadelphia, the Demi movie is a really good movie too. Anyway, yeah, but no, I do some research. I don't think that means I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You want to put on the best show possible. If I just went off the cuff completely, it would be a little like, oh, what else? What else? I
Yeah.
have so
What kind of sparked 2025 you guys put out on Halloween in the Earth Again with Hayden Pedigo. Um what kind of like sparked that relationship? Because that's like two opposite realms of music kind of into one.
Well, yeah, it is in a way. Let's see. Hold on. I got a light here. Here, let's see if I can do it this way. Oh, look at that spooky, scary.
I see you got a little spook going.
Um, Aiden Pedigo. He is a great guy. He likes our music. I am a big fan of fingerstyle playing. I love John Fahey, and he does too. And I love some of the newer guys. Like I love Daniel Bachman. He turned me on to this guy Mason Lindahl. That's incredible. Um, but yeah, so I was aware of Hayden's music, and like um, he moved to Oklahoma City. He's like, let's all hang out. So Stan, being the proactive fellow that he is, he like before I knew it was like, oh yeah, I hung out with Hayden. I was like, oh cool, and like so then I just went over to Stan's house. Work was done for me. It's already like we're already almost pretty much introduced. So then we were talking about doing a collab of some kind. We had promised this thing to this label called Computer Students a long time ago. We could kind of give them whatever we wanted. I think maybe we had promised an album, but we could kind of do whatever we wanted. And so it just was like a serendipitous thing where it was like, let's just collab. I mean, to us, we record at home and we've been doing music forever. It's not like a huge stretch for me or a big deal for me or any of the fellas to just like, smoke a little weed and play guitar for an hour or two. And then you see what you got out of that thing. So
Do
that's
you
why.
guys have like a studio that you guys have set up at, or is it
Yeah, we have a studio at Sten's place. Yeah.
gotcha? Do you guys do a lot of like your own mixing then?
In the past we're not going to do that anymore. It's like too much work for Stan to do.
Hmm.
We talk about that today. And who's going to mix album 3, regular album 3? So, but we don't know yet. I don't know. We don't know yet. Can't say.
Fair enough. And then I'll kind of leave you with just one more question. What's one thing that you would like to do, just in terms of like your creative career that you've been toying with, like maybe like directing a short film or creating something digitally or whatever?
Well, musically, I'd like to do a couple things. I mean, I've done other music under the name Randy Rules, RULZ. Uh, I'd like to. I kind of envision the last two albums being like being a trilogy of records. Maybe four, maybe a continuation at least, not just two records. I envision more
Hmm.
with that. That would be more in the line of those two. So I'd like to do one of those. I mean, I'd love to do. I'd love to get asked to do something more like electronic based, like singing over something like that. I would love to, or just do a project like that.
Yeah.
Uh, but I love electronic music and stuff, and I would love to be the cameo vocal on something, or whatever, That would be a lot of fun for me. Film wise, yeah, I'd love to direct something. I've written a screenplay that I'd like to do something with, I mean, my true dream that I hope that I could see being achievable, perhaps, is to just be featured in like a movie or something. It's just like in a cameo role. It's just like, yeah, I'm just in the kind of like leaving from fear.
Hmm.
It's like Mr. Body in the Clue movie,
Like a Radio Man kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah, just kind of being like we always talk about our favorite one, me and Captain Ron at least, is The Offspring and Idle Hands. They're like the band playing at the prom or whatever, and Dexter Holland gets killed by the evil hand. He gets his scalp ripped off. This is like a lot of fun. It would be really fun to be as a band appear in something, That's also great too. But I would love to have a role in a movie where it's just like I'm just in the movie. It's like Raygun Busch as Smith or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be the star. I want to be just like in it. I'm not saying like I want to like be a serious actor or anything. I just want to be like it would be so much fun for me to just be in something.
Yeah. Naming the credits.
Yeah, build a resume of like I'm like this the angry stepdad and I have no lines. I'm in it. Yeah, yeah, that would be fun for me.
I gotcha. Well, thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate it.
Well,
Guys, there'll be a ton of links down below. I know that you guys re recently released the Chicago cassette, which I think that sold out like very quickly. But you guys were kind of teasing a second press, possibly.
yeah, we were talking today. I mean, it sold out faster than anything we've ever put up. So yeah, we were talking today about just probably pressing it again pretty fast. So it'll
Sounds,
still be probably like in the 200, 250 range of copies made. So
yeah,
want it, get on it, but also know that it exists digitally if you want to just hear it. So yeah,
fair enough. Well, I'll link a ton of stuff down below, guys. Make sure to check out Chat Pile. I'm sure 2026 you will see them at a city near you. They do tour a good bit. So, till next time, guys, and thank you again, Raygon. Appreciate it.
appreciate it. Thank you.